if I told you one of the NFL's most intimidating players didn't even know football existed until he was 21? This is the story of the incredible rise of Christian Okoye. Don't forget to subscribe. Christian Okoye was born on August 16, 1961 in Enugu, Nigeria. Growing up in a modest household, Christian's parents instilled in him the importance of hard work in education, values deeply rooted in Nigerian culture. By the time he was a teenager, Christian joined his school's track and field team, and it didn't take long for him to make a mark. At 6'1" and with an imposing frame, Christian had a physical presence that few could match. Nigeria at the time was gaining recognition on a global athletic stage, and Christian's powerful build and natural strength made him a standout in events like the shot put and discus throw. By the time he graduated high school, Christian was ranked among the best young throwers in the country. He had raw talent, but more importantly, he had discipline. His throws consistently outperformed competitors, earning him national attention. His exceptional talent caught the attention of Patrick Onukwa, a Nigerian state track coach, who mentored him and introduced him to Innocent Egbunike, a fellow athlete from Enugu. Egbunike had already secured a scholarship to Azusa Pacific University in California and promised to help Okoye pursue similar opportunities. True to his word, Egbunike facilitated Okoye's recruitment to APU, where Okoye arrived in 1982 to join the track and field team. At APU, under the guidance of coach Dr. Terry Franzen, Okoye's athletic prowess flourished. He contributed significantly to the university's track and field success, leading the team to 4 consecutive NAIA Outdoor Track and Field National Championships from 1983 to 1986. Individually, he secured 7 national titles across the discus, shot put, and hammer throw events, and earned 17 All-American honors. By all accounts, Christian had earned his place on the Nigerian Olympic team. He easily met the qualifications needed to represent Nigeria in the 1984 Olympics. However, despite his qualifications, Christian was left off the roster for the Olympics. It was a crushing blow for him, not just as an athlete, but as someone who had dedicated years of training to reach this moment. The Olympic setback became the push Christian needed to try something completely new. At Azusa Pacific, Christian's athletic talents hadn't gone unnoticed. As it usually goes, his powerful frame, explosive speed, and strength had caught the attention of football coaches. While Christian had no prior experience with American football, his physical abilities were so remarkable that his coaches couldn't help but wonder what he might accomplish on the field. When Christian Okoye decided to try his hand at American football at the age of 23, the odds were stacked against him. Unlike most NFL players who grew up playing Pop Warner or high school football, Christian had zero experience with the sport. In fact, he had never even watched a football game until his college years at Azusa Pacific University. But what he lacked in experience, he more than made up for with raw athletic talent. While learning the mental aspects of football were a challenge, Christian's physical attributes were undeniable. At 6'1" and 260 pounds, he had the build of an offensive lineman, but the speed of a wide receiver. In one of his first 40-yard dashes, Christian clocked an astonishing time of 4.45 seconds. His time was faster than NFL legends like Jerry Rice and Michael Irvin, both Hall of Fame wide receivers known for their speed. One area where Christian naturally excelled was breaking tackles. Once the ball was in his hands, his track and field background took over. His lower body strength, developed from years of throwing discus and shot put, allowed him to plow through defenders with ease. After a couple of months of countless practices, Christian considered quitting football. He wasn't in love with the sport yet, and the steep learning curve often left him frustrated. He struggled to understand formations and defensive schemes, and the constant hitting wasn't something he enjoyed. However, his teammates encouraged him to stick with it, recognizing his potential to dominate on the field. And dominate he did. During his senior year, he led the entire nation in rushing yards per game. His 1,680 rushing yards during his senior season shattered school records and put him on the radar for NFL scouts. In 3 short years, he went from a complete novice to a national rushing leader, all while playing for a small school on a lower division. Some saw him as a once-in-a-lifetime physical specimen with the potential to dominate the league. Others viewed him as a project, a player whose lack of experience might prevent him from ever reaching a ceiling. The Kansas City Chiefs were one of the teams most intrigued by Christian's potential. General manager Jim Schaaf and his scouting department were blown away by what they saw. According to reports, they viewed Christian as almost too good to be true. When the second round of the 1987 NFL draft rolled around, the Chiefs decided to take the plunge. With the 35th overall pick, Kansas City selected Christian Okoye, making him one of the highest drafted players in Azusa Pacific history. For Christian, it was a dream come true, and for the Chiefs, it was a chance to add a unique weapon to their backfield. The pick wasn't just a win for the Chiefs, it was a milestone for Nigerian athletes. Christian became the first Nigerian-born non-kicker to be drafted into the NFL, breaking barriers and inspiring a new generation of international players. Christian Okoye's entry into the NFL wasn't just an adjustment, it was a trial by fire. His rookie season began in the strike-shortened 1987 campaign. He played in 12 games, starting 10 of them, giving him the first taste of NFL action. One of the standout moments of Okoye's rookie year occurred in his NFL debut, facing the San Diego Chargers in Week 1 on September 13, 1987. Okoye wasted no time making his presence felt. In a performance that would set the tone for his career, he rushed for 105 yards on 23 carries, including an electrifying 43-yard touchdown run. The touchdown was a defining moment of the game. On that play, Okoye took a handoff, found a gap in the line, and burst through the defense, breaking multiple tackles as he accelerated into the open field. Once in the clear, Okoye's speed allowed him to outrun defenders to the end zone. It was a play that not only helped the Chiefs secure a 20-13 victory, but also gave him a rather unique nickname. The Nigerian Nightmare quickly became a fan favorite, coined by his teammate Irv Eatman after one of the games. However, Okoye's season wasn't without challenges. The 1987 NFL player strike disrupted the schedule, limiting him to just 12 games and creating an unusual environment for a rookie to find consistency. Statistically, Okoye finished his rookie season with 157 carries for 660 yards, averaging a solid 4.2 yards per carry, and scored 3 touchdowns. Okoye's 1988 season, his second year in the NFL, was a pivotal period in his development as a professional football player. Okoye's highlight of the season was the game against the Cincinnati Bengals on November 13, 1988, where he delivered one of the most dominant performances of his early career. Okoye rushed for 102 yards on 16 carries, including a 43-yard touchdown run. His bruising running style proved too much for the Bengals defense as he repeatedly broke tackles and churned out yardage after contact. His performance helped secure the Kansas City Chiefs' victory over the Cincinnati Bengals with a final score of 31-28. However, Okoye's season was not all smooth sailing. One of his most disappointing performances occurred on September 18, 1988. The Kansas City Chiefs faced the Denver Broncos at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. The Chiefs emerged victorious with a final score of 20-13. However, in this game, Okoye had a modest performance, rushing for 10 yards on 5 carries, averaging 2.0 yards per attempt. Christian Okoye's 1988 NFL season marked a developmental period as he began to establish himself as a physical presence in the Kansas City Chiefs backfield. Over the course of the season, Okoye participated in 9 games, rushing for a total of 473 yards on 105 carries. His performance showcased a strong 4.5 yards per carry average, demonstrating his efficiency as a runner. Despite the limited opportunities due to injuries and team circumstances, Okoye managed to find the end zone 3 times, further highlighting his value as a red zone threat. In addition to his rushing contributions, Okoye caught 8 passes for 51 yards. While his numbers reflected growth, Okoye was poised for the breakout year that would come in 1989. Under the new head coach, Marty Schottenheimer, the 1989 Chiefs emphasized a run-heavy offensive scheme that perfectly suited Okoye's abilities. Schottenheimer's system relied on controlling the clock and wearing down defenses, and Okoye was the ideal player for the job. What made Okoye's 1989 season even more impressive was the way he dominated physically. Defenders often referred to tackling him as an all-day job, with some joking that hitting him felt like running into a brick wall. One of Okoye's finest performances came on October 22, 1989, in a game against the Dallas Cowboys. In that game, Okoye rushed for a career-high 170 yards on 33 carries, scoring 2 touchdowns. His dominant running helped the Chiefs secure a 36-28 victory. However, Okoye faced significant struggles earlier in the season. His worst game in terms of yards per attempt during the 1989 NFL season occurred against the San Diego Chargers. In this matchup, Okoye rushed for only 45 yards on 14 carries, averaging a modest 3.2 yards per attempt. Despite his efforts, the Chargers' defense effectively limited his impact, consistently clogging running lanes and preventing him from breaking into the open field. The Kansas City Chiefs struggled offensively, relying heavily on Okoye's running game, which the Chargers successfully neutralized. The game ended in a 21-6 loss for the Chiefs, underscoring the challenges of overcoming defensive strategies designed to contain their star running back. Despite the occasional setback, Okoye's 1989 season was extraordinary. He finished the year as the NFL's leading rusher with 1,480 yards on 304 carries, averaging 4.9 yards per carry, and scored 12 touchdowns. His relentless effort earned him the UPI AFC Offensive Player of the Year award and his first Pro Bowl selection. Okoye's dominance on the ground was pivotal in leading the Chiefs to an 8-7-1 record, a marked improvement for a team that has struggled in previous seasons. But Okoye's success wasn't just about the numbers. His impact went beyond the stat sheet. He became a symbol of toughness and determination, not just for the Chiefs, but for the league as a whole. Fans loved him for his relentless running style, and he quickly became one of the most popular players in the NFL. Opponents respected him, and Okoye's ability to dominate games with his physicality and athleticism made him a player that everyone had to account for. One of the most impressive aspects of Okoye's breakout season was how far he had come in such a short time. Just 5 years earlier, he had never played a single down of football. By 1989, he was the most feared running back in the league. The 1990 season saw Okoye continue as a focal point of the Chiefs' ground game, though his overall production began to dip slightly. Okoye's contributions were particularly important in key moments during the season, as the Chiefs relied on his ability to pick up tough yardage and control the tempo of games. One of his notable performances came in Week 14 of the 1990 NFL season. The Kansas City Chiefs faced the Denver Broncos on December 9, 1990. In this game, Christian Okoye rushed for 112 yards on 28 carries, averaging 4.0 yards per attempt, and scored a touchdown. His performance was instrumental in the Chiefs' 31-20 victory over the Broncos. Throughout the game, Okoye's powerful running style consistently challenged the Broncos' defense, allowing the Chiefs to control the tempo and maintain offensive momentum. This victory was significant for the Chiefs as it improved their season record and bolstered their playoff aspirations. His physical style of play began to show signs of wear and tear as he struggled to replicate the explosive dominance of his 1989 campaign. He finished the season with 805 rushing yards on 245 carries, averaging 3.3 yards per attempt, and scored 7 touchdowns. The Chiefs' season ended in heartbreak during the AFC wildcard round against the Miami Dolphins. The Chiefs held a commanding 16-3 lead entering the fourth quarter, but allowed Miami to rally and win 17-16 on a stunning comeback. Okoye was limited to just 52 yards on 17 carries in the game, as the Dolphins' defense stifled Kansas City's rushing attack. In the 1991 season, Okoye bounced back with one of the most productive campaigns of his career. Okoye's resurgence coincided with a strong season for the Chiefs, who finished with a 10-6 record, marking their first consecutive playoff appearances since the late 1960s. However, the postseason brought both triumph and disappointment for Kansas City. In the AFC wildcard round, the Chiefs defeated the Los Angeles Raiders 10-6, earning their first playoff victory since their Super Bowl IV championship. Their playoff run ended in the AFC divisional round, where they fell to the Buffalo Bills 37-14. Despite the loss, Okoye's results that season were great. He surpassed the 1,000-yard rushing mark for the second time, finishing with 1,031 yards on 225 carries, an impressive 4.6 yards per carry, and scored 9 touchdowns. His dominant performance earned him Pro Bowl honors and a spot on the second-team All-Pro list. The 1992 season was a challenging one for Okoye, as injuries and the cumulative effects of his physical style began to take their toll. He played in 15 games, but started only 5, as his role in the offense diminished. Christian Okoye's standout performance occurred on December 19, 1992, during a game against the New York Giants at Giant Stadium. In this matchup, Okoye carried the ball 11 times, accumulating 36 rushing yards and scoring a 1-yard touchdown run in the second quarter. Despite his efforts, the Kansas City Chiefs were defeated by the Giants with a final score of 35-21. This game was notable as it marked Okoye's final touchdown in the NFL, as he retired after the 1992 season. Over 6 seasons, he amassed 4,897 rushing yards and 40 touchdowns, leaving behind a legacy as one of the most powerful and impactful runners of his era. Okoye didn't fade into obscurity after leaving the NFL. Instead, he pivoted toward using his platform and influence to make a difference. In 1990, even before his retirement, Okoye founded the Christian Okoye Foundation, an organization dedicated to helping underprivileged children achieve their potential through sports and education. The foundation has been a cornerstone of his post-football life, running free summer sports camps to teach kids about teamwork, leadership, and the importance of education. He remains a beloved figure in the Chiefs community, often attending games and events to support the team. In 2000, he was inducted into the Chiefs Hall of Fame, further solidifying his legacy within the organization. Do you think a nickname, Nigerian Nightmare, would fly in the 2024 NFL? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.